So, today we'll be talking about the cardiovascular system and some of the diseases that can occur within the system. We'll be doing a few different activities today, starting with learning the effects that certain behaviors can have on cardiovascular health. We will also be learning some of the functions of the circulatory system as well as the structure of the heart. And you guys should have a pretty good idea of what the structure of the heart is because we've been going over it the past few days, but this is just extra practice. Okay, let's get started. So the first activity is U.S. Surgeon General. Here's part of the U.S. Surgeon General's job description. So according to surgeongeneral.gov, quote, as the nation's doctor, the Surgeon General provides Americans with the best scientific information available on how to improve their health and reduce the risk of illness and injury. So a Surgeon General's job is pretty important just because it keeps the public aware of these health concerns and just makes them known. Now imagine that you're the Surgeon General. First, we're going to read through the teenshealth.org articles related to the cardiovascular system, and you should all have those because I emailed them to you and they are labeled what videos are for what. And so first we're going to read some of those together, or you're going to read it silently as I read it aloud. And then you guys are also going to take some notes on that, and then I'm going to let you guys go off on your own and do some research of your own. And you're welcome to use any type of websites or like articles just as long as they're valid. And that's why I sent you a list of these, because I know that they're valid. But you guys will be explaining why it's so important to eat a healthy diet and be active every day. Or if you don't think the Surgeon General will be influential among teens, think of a person whose advice teens would take. So who is someone that you respect and that you would listen to this type of advice from? And it can be anyone from an actor to an athlete. Then write a message from this person encouraging high school students to adopt heart healthy habits. Make sure to explain how certain healthy behaviors can prevent specific health problems related to the heart and cardiovascular system. Research and include statistics that you think will make students stop and think and make positive changes. So the first article that we're going to be reading is When Being Overweight is a Health Problem on the teenshealth.org websites that I sent you guys. So you guys need to go to that and be sure to take notes while I'm reading it aloud, because this information is useful to this activity that we're doing. So in our looks-obsessed society, many people think that being overweight is an appearance issue, but being overweight can be a medical concern because it can seriously affect a person's health. Doctors use the medical terms overweight or obese to tell if someone has a greater chance of developing weight-related problems. Why do people become overweight? When people eat more calories than they use, their bodies store the extra calories as fat. A couple pounds of extra body fat usually doesn't cause problems for most people, but when people keep a pattern of eating more calories than they burn, more and more fat builds up in their bodies. And this is why it's so important to exercise, because sometimes we do eat a little bit more than we should. And if we're eating a lot, then we need to be exercising a lot too. Weight problems tend to run in families. Some people have a genetic tendency to gain weight more easily than others. And although genes strongly influence body type and size, the environment also plays a role. People today are gaining weight because of unhealthy food choices like fast food and family habits like eating in front of the TV instead of around the table. High-calorie, low-nutrient snacks like chips, cookies, and ice creams, and like beverages like soda, and juice, and sports drinks, bigger portions of food, and less active lifestyles are all contributing to the obesity epidemic. And people who don't get enough sleep are more likely to be overweight. Sometimes people will turn to food for emotional reasons, such as when they feel upset, anxious, sad, stressed out, or even bored. And when this happens, they often eat more than they need to. And you might know a person who does this, or maybe you yourself does this. And if you do, or someone that you know, you need to let them know that they can get help. They can go to the doctor and they will put them on a regimen or get them counseling or whatever they need. So defining overweight. Figuring out if a teen is overweight is a little more complicated than it is for adults, and that's because teens are still growing and developing. Doctors and other healthcare professionals use a measurement called body mass index to tell if someone is overweight. The doctor calculates BMI using a person's height and weight and then plots that number on a chart to see what weight category that they're in. And there are different charts for girls and for guys, and then BMI estimates how much body fat the person has. People with high BMI are more likely to have weight-related health problems. Doctors use 4 categories to describe a person's weight. Underweight, which is a person who weighs less than the healthy range for their age, weight, and gender. Healthy weight, a person's weight is in the healthy range for their age, gender, and height. And then overweight, a person weighs more than the healthy range for their age, gender, and height. And then the last one is obese. A person weighs much more than the healthy range for their age, gender, and height. Because muscle weighs more than fat, a muscular person can have a high BMI, but not too much body fat. Likewise, it's possible for someone to have a low or ideal BMI, but still have too much body fat. You may get a BMI report from school, but the best way to understand BMI is really just to talk to your doctor. Health problems of being overweight. So, asthma, obesity increases the chance of having asthma. Breathing problems related to weight can make it harder to keep up with friends, play sports, or just walk from class to class. And that can really take a toll on you if you are overweight and you can't keep up with your friends or play sports, or it's hard for you to just walk to class. Like, it's a strain on your mental health. And so it's really important for those people to get the help that they need, because it will make them feel better and they will just have a better state of mind. And so the next one is sleep apnea. This is a condition where a person temporarily stops breathing during sleep. And it's a serious problem for many overweight kids and adults. Sleep apnea can leave people feeling tired and having trouble paying attention and learning, and it also may lead to heart problems. So, high blood pressure. When blood pressure is high, the heart has to work harder. If the problem continues for a long time, high blood pressure can damage the heart and arteries. High cholesterol. Abnormal blood lipid levels, including high cholesterol, low HDL cholesterol, and high triglyceride levels, increase the chances of having a heart attack or stroke when a person gets older. Gallstones. Does anyone know anyone who has had gallstones, or has anyone had gallstones before? They are not fun. But gallstones are a buildup of bile that hardens in the gallbladder from gallstones, which forms the gallstones. These can be painful and sometimes they can require surgery. Fatty liver. If fat builds up in the liver, it can cause inflammation, scarring, and permanent liver damage. Joint and muscle pain. Wear and tear on the joints from carrying extra weight can cause pain and may lead to arthritis in adulthood. And then there's a couple of other ones, but we're just going to do one more. Depression. People with weight problems are more likely to be depressed and have lower self-esteem. Like I was talking about earlier, it can really take a toll on your mental health if you can't keep up with your friends and you can't do the activities that you want to do. Luckily, it's never too late to make changes that can help control weight gain and the health problems it causes. Those changes don't have to be big. For a start, make a plan to cut back on sugary beverages, control portions, and get more exercise. Even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes a day, you can build your way up to big changes by making a series of small ones. And don't be afraid to ask for help. It is okay to ask for help. Everybody needs a little help sometimes, and it's not a sign of weakness. Sometimes we just need support. So, let's see. The next one that we're going to read is called hypertension. high blood pressure. And you guys can go ahead and click on that article. I'm going to go ahead and start reading. So, what is high blood pressure? High blood pressure or hypertension is when the force of the blood pushing on the blood vessel walls is too high. When someone has high blood pressure, the heart has to pump harder. And the arteries, which are the blood vessels that carry the blood away from the heart, are under greater strain as they carry blood. After a while, high blood pressure can damage the heart, brain, kidneys, and eyes. Finding and treating high blood pressure early can help people stay healthy now and in the future. So, how does blood pressure work? Blood pressure is the force against blood vessel walls as the heart pumps blood. When the heart squeezes and pushes blood into the vessels, blood pressure goes up. It comes down when the heart relaxes. Blood pressure changes from minute to minute, and it's affected by activity and rest, body temperature, diet, emotions, posture, and medicines. What causes high blood pressure? So, the most common type of high blood pressure is called primary hypertension, and this means that no other medical problem is found that is causing the high blood pressure. And primary hypertension is more common in people who are overweight or obese and those who have high blood pressure in their family. So, if you guys have a mom or a dad or an aunt or grandparents that have high blood pressure, you are more likely to get high blood pressure yourself. When a medical problem is found that is causing the high blood pressure, it is called secondary hypertension. Secondary hypertension is often due to kidney disease, hormone problems, blood vessel problems, lung problems, heart problems, and some medicines can also cause high blood pressure. Secondary hypertension. So, what are the signs and symptoms of high blood pressure? Most of the time, high blood pressure doesn't cause symptoms. In rare cases, severe high blood pressure can cause headaches, blurry vision, dizziness, nosebleeds, a fluttering or racing heartbeat, and also nausea. If you have high blood pressure and any of these symptoms, get medical care right away because it's very serious. And it's very serious because if you don't catch it soon enough, then you'll have a harder time with it and a harder time treating it. So, how is blood pressure measured? Healthcare providers measure blood with a cuff that wraps around the upper arm. And when the cuff inflates, it squeezes a large artery, stopping the blood flow for a moment. When blood pressure is measured as air is slowly let out of the cuff, which lets blood flow through the artery again. So, blood pressure is measured in two numbers. The first number is the pressure when the heart pumps, and the second number is the pressure when the heart rests between beats. You hear blood pressure reported as the first number over the second number, like 120 over 80. So, how is high blood pressure diagnosed? A single reading showing high blood pressure doesn't mean that you have hypertension. Sometimes blood pressure needs to be checked several times over a period of days or weeks to know if someone actually has hypertension. And your doctor will probably weigh and measure you. He or she might do urine tests or blood tests to check for other conditions that can be causing this hypertension. Some people have what's called white coat hypertension, and this means that their blood pressure goes up when they're nervous, like if they're at the doctor's office and it's like just very stressful. So doctors will sometimes track a person's blood pressure over a whole day, and this is called an ambulatory blood pressure monitoring. How is high blood pressure treated? So high blood pressure is due to a condition like kidney disease, or if high blood pressure is due to a kidney disease or a hormone problem, treating the condition might be enough to get the blood pressure back to normal. But doctors often recommend lifestyle changes. So if you have hypertension, your doctor might want you to eat a healthy diet, which is eat more fruits and vegetables, limit your salt intake, avoid caffeine, and also avoid alcohol. Get regular exercise. So try to exercise for 30 to 60 minutes at least 3 to 5 times a week. And teens with severe hypertension should check with a doctor to see which sports and activities are actually safe, because some, like weightlifting or powerlifting or body lifting, strength training, those might not be allowed until their blood pressure is being controlled, because it might actually be more dangerous for them to be doing that. Don't smoke, or if you do, then you need to quit, because people with high blood pressure should not smoke. And their home and car should both be smoke-free. If diet and exercise changes do not improve the blood pressure, then doctors will prescribe medicine, but they really want to try to get it back to normal just by making your diet more healthy or your lifestyle more healthy, just so it's a more natural way of bringing your blood pressure down. But some people can't, just because it's so severe. But what else should I know? It's important to follow the advice of your healthcare team. A healthy diet and exercise, taking medicine if needed, and getting regular blood pressure checks can also help you stay very healthy. So now I'm going to let you guys go off on your own for about 5 minutes and just research for the paper, and then we're going to start a new activity. So I'm going to start a timer for 5 minutes, and you guys can go. Okay, so 5 minutes is up. The next activity that we're going to go on to is circulatory and heart systems. So this one should be it won't be hard. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but it's not going to be too hard, because you guys, like I already said, you had, we're just going over the heart for review. So make sure you know the basics about the heart and circulatory system, how they work, by completing the complete cardio handout worksheet that I have emailed to you, and it is, you can edit it, so everyone should be able to write their answers in. And you can use the teenshealth.org article, Heart and Circulatory System, as a guide. So I am going to let you guys work on that, and then after about like 8 minutes, like 8 to 10 minutes, we'll go over it. So I'm gonna start the timer and go. Okay, so it's been 8 minutes, so everybody please stop working on the worksheet, and we're going to go over it. So the first question is, the heart has 4 blank that are enclosed by thick muscular walls. What did you guys put? So the correct answer is actually chambers. The heart has 4 chambers that are enclosed by thick muscular walls. Number 2, the upper part of the heart is made up of 2 chambers, called the right and left blank, which receive the blood entering the heart. What did you guys put for that one? Okay, so the right answer is actually atria. The upper part of the heart is made up of 2 chambers called the right and left atria, which receive the blood by entering the heart. Which receive the blood entering the heart. So on to number 4. Blank is a short loop from the heart to the lungs and back again. So what did you guys put down for that answer? Okay, so the answer actually is pulmonary circulation. So pulmonary circulation is a short loop from the heart to the lungs and back again. Number 5, blank sends blood from the heart to all other parts of the body and back again. So let me hear some answers that you guys put down. Okay, so it's called systemic circulation, and you guys really need to know the difference between those two, because it's pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation, so it kind of can be confusing. But yeah, number 5 is systematic circulation sends blood from the heart to all the other parts of the body and then back again. Number 6, this one's fairly easy. Blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart are called what? Arteries. Yes, so blood vessels that carry blood back to the heart are called, blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart are called arteries. Now on to number 7. Blood vessels that carry blood back to the heart are called what? veins. So blood vessels that carry blood back to the heart are called veins, and then blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart are called arteries. Number 8. A network of tiny blank connects the arteries and veins, delivers nutrients and oxygen to the cells, and removes waste products such as carbon dioxide. So the answer to that is capillaries. A network of tiny capillaries connects to the arteries and veins, delivers nutrients and oxygen to the cells, and removes waste products such as carbon dioxide. Number 9. In the lungs, gases are exchanged between capillary walls and millions of tiny air sacs called what? Alveoli. So in the lungs, gases are exchanged between capillary walls and millions of tiny air sacs called alveoli. And then the last question. You guys should know this because we just read an article on it. High blood pressure is also called what? Hypertension. Yes. So good job, everybody. I'm gonna let you guys keep those as like a little study guide, and this will also help for you to remember like everything for the heart and everything like that. So we are gonna go to the next activity. This is an activity on heart as well. So it's called Parts of the Heart. Oh wait, no, sorry. After you guys need to list ways to prevent high blood pressure and high cholesterol levels, and turn your tips into a reminder sheet for the whole family to put on your fridge at home. And then we're going to get into the next activity. I'm sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself. So I'm going to give you guys about 5 to 8 minutes to do that, and then we're going to start on the activity. And if you guys have any questions, just ask. Okay, timer is up. And we're going to go over those at the end of class, so you guys can just hold on to that for now. So the next activity, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's called Parts of the Heart, like I just said. But you guys are going to label the parts of the heart in the heart parts handout that I sent to you guys in an email, and you guys should all have that. And then you can use the teenshealth.org article, Heart and Circulatory System, as a guide. And I'll also send that attached with that worksheet, so you guys can look at that. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. But it's just a very helpful website that I thought you guys could use. So, after you guys label the heart, you guys are going to write an essay on explaining how blood travels through the heart and throughout the body. And this, the worksheet that we just did should help you guys with this as well. So you guys are going to start in the right atrium where the blood enters the heart and end with the vena cava veins returning blood to the heart, which is one complete cardiac cycle. So you guys work on completing the worksheet. And then after you guys do that, we're going to go over it to make sure you guys have the right answers. And then you guys are going to write an essay explaining how blood travels through the heart and throughout the body. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys I'm going to give you guys about 7 to 10 minutes to work on this. And then we're going to go over it. So, and I'm going to start the timer and go. Okay, the timer is up. Now we're going to go over the heart parts worksheet. So, we're going to go over the right side of the heart first, and then we're going to go over the left side. So the right side on the screen is like actually the left side of the heart, so it's going to be like left atrium, mitral valve, and left ventricle and things like that. So the first one on the left side of the heart, but right side, I'm looking at my paper, is aorta. Okay, and then can anybody tell me what the second one is labeled? it is labeled left atrium. And then the next one is labeled the mitral valve. The one after that is the aortic valve. And then after that, can anybody tell me what it is? Yes, it is the left ventricle. And then the last one on this side, does anybody know what the answer to it is? It is the interventricular septum. So the answers for that were the aorta, left atrium, mitral valve, aortic valve, left ventricle, and interventricular septum. So now let's go over the other side. So the first one on the other side is what? The pulmonary artery. Yes, good job. The second one is, can anybody guess? It is the right atrium. So the right and left atriums are like right beside, like right across from each other. Okay, so the one after that is called the tricuspid valve. And then the next one is called, can anybody guess? Pulmonic valve. And then the last one on that side is called the right ventricle. So those answers were pulmonary artery, right atrium, tricuspid valve, pulmonic valve, and right ventricle. So good work on that, you guys. Now I'm going to give you guys time. And I gave you guys about 7 minutes, so I'm going to give you guys about like 6 to 8 minutes to work on this. And whatever you don't finish in that amount of time, you can just take home for homework. So I'm going to start the timer. Okay, everybody go. Okay, and that's the timer. So, that's all we have for today. The cardiovascular system is a very important system to learn about if you guys already didn't know. The information that you learned today can be used throughout the rest of your life to make heart-healthy decisions. And I hope that you guys will utilize the resources that I've given you, as well as the new ones that you will learn from the research that we did today. Thank you guys for participating, and with that, class is dismissed. Thank you.